Hello, welcome back to Passports, Profits, and Pixie Dust. My name is Lindsay Dollinger, and I'm the travel agency owner of At Last I See the World Travel. And if you know anything about me, or if you're watching this on YouTube and you see my fun background, I am a huge Disney girly. And I actually started in this industry really focusing on selling Walt Disney World, like specifically Walt Disney World. I would do Disneyland here and there, but I don't know, 90% of my sales was Walt Disney World. And today, this episode is for you if you also are selling, I won't even say a lot of Disney, but you have a clientele who is Disney World or Disneyland focused, or Universal. We'll go Universal here too. So you are selling the theme parks, and you are looking for ways to increase your sales without spending an extra dollar on marketing. And that is how to stop finding all new clients and start serving the ones you already have. So one of the biggest mistakes I see Disney focused travel advisors making is because you become known as the Disney person, and then you accidentally kind of put yourself in that box where you might be the person who books Disney for them, and then they go on a cruise 6 months later and you're like, "Hey, I could have booked that too for you," right? But they think, "Oh, she only books Disney because you've been marketing yourself that way." So even if you do only want to market for Disney, we get to make sure that our clients still know that we can help them in other ways experience other sorts of vacations, because those same clients, I can almost guarantee you, not everyone, but almost guarantee you, they are taking cruises, European vacations, all inclusives, bucket list adventures, or they're wanting to do that. And like I said, maybe they're booking with someone else, which that hurts. So I'm going to show you today how to naturally transition your Disney clients into cruises. Maybe it's Adventure by Disney, Alani, and other types of vacations without feeling salesy or pushy. And a lot of times, friends, in case you did not know, these other things are actually going to make you more commission. And hardly anything, I feel like, is as much work as putting together a Disney vacation. No lightning lanes, no like dining reservation. Like, let's be real. You know what I'm talking about if you booked Disney. So I am batching these a little bit early. I'm batching these in May, and I know this is dropping, let's see here, like mid-June. So, either the day this is dropping or the week later, I will have hopefully returned in one piece this time from Central America. I got one of the hosted buyer spots for the Mayan tourism board fair. So my plan is that I am starting in Mexico, and then I end up flying down to Guatemala, which will be my first time in Guatemala since I studied abroad there in 2010. So that's kind of cool because that was like very unexpected, not on my radar at all for this year. And then, we're driving across the border into Honduras to see Copan, which has been on my list, like, forever. So I'm pretty excited. I'll be checking off a new country. Hopefully meeting a lot of you at this event. It's been a while since I've traveled solo to another country even, but even to, like, a travel industry event. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting a little anxious and nervy, but it's good stuff. I think it's all good. So doing that, and then June 19th, my family is heading to Scotland. We are trying out the Colette family of brands, group tour through Scotland. I'm really excited for that because Scotland was on my bucket list. My sister studied there twice. Um, I have not been there, so that'll be another new country off my list. We're taking dad, so hopefully he is walking better by then. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous about that. For those of you who don't know, my dad fell on our Carnival cruise April 1st. We had to be air flighted, him and I, out of Merida, Mexico to Miami, Florida, where he had surgery. And, so I'm a little nervous. He was making really great progress, and then he's kinda gone backward a little the past couple weeks. So I'm hoping we get some more positive movement so that that trip's really enjoyable for all of us. And ironically, my Mexico trip that I'm leaving on in a couple days, I'm actually flying into the airport, the Merida airport that I flew out of with him. Then it's the only other time I've been there. So I don't know if like that's part of my nerves too. Like I still feel like trauma from that whole trip and everything. So we're hoping this time in Mexico goes a lot better than that one. So that's kind of life as it is here. We are wrapped up with school, which is always a great feeling. Finished year 17 of teaching. Got the classroom packed up. So it is just nice to be on break, I won't lie, ever since this accident happened with my dad, we've been living at my dad's house, and we've just been really juggling a lot. That alongside of, building up my travel agency, just like you guys. Like I've had this stuff going on in my life right now, right? So building up the travel agency, still being really supportive to my agents, opening the doors again, doors. I think this is airing the 15th. If this airs June 8th, then you still have a few more days to get in. And actually, you know what? If you listen to this live time on June 15th and you were like, man, I really meant to sign up and I want to now, message me because I just closed the doors a couple days ago so we can still get you in to get started tonight. Um, so yeah, that's been going on. Been welcoming new agents for the summer. I wanted to basically open and close doors to that as a cohort style. So um, everyone can start new together. I feel like that worked really well when I did that in March. So I'm doing that. And then for my nonprofit, if you do not know, I'm a co-founder of a nonprofit with my sister called Kathy's Magical Memories. It's in memory of our mom, Kathy, who passed away from breast cancer about 11 and a half years ago now. And we raise funds throughout the year to take families who've lost a parent to Walt Disney World. And we just gifted our second trip to a family this summer. So I've been planning that with them. I'm excited to share more about that when they go in July. But it's a mom and her 4-year-old daughter, and she is the cutest and is looking forward to meeting the princesses. So then that's been going on too. So that's kind of my life. I just want to do a little quick life update because I feel like I've just been like busting in through these episodes lately and just want to share what's going on with me because I feel like too sometimes, I don't know about you, but I hear these podcasters and they come on here and they give all this great info and I'm like, wow, they've got it all together and their life's so easy and whatever. And I'm not saying my life isn't. There are definitely people with way worse things going on. But it's been a season here too. So, we're hanging in there. I'm excited for the summer vibes and summer energy. Let's leave it at that. So let's get back to it. So today I'm going to naturally show you how to transition those Disney clients, like I mentioned, into other products. So we're going to start off with cruises. Disney clients and cruise clients actually have a lot in common. Lots of times they love convenience, they love entertainment options, they love family experiences, great service, planning ahead, and memory making vacations. And again, all this is general, but you get the point, right? And many families who love Disney eventually are going to reach the point where they want something new, but they still want the same level of magic. I'm actually working with the family right now. Went to Disney for the first time at Christmas last year, and they want to try a Disney cruise this year for Christmas. Just something a little bit different with the same level of magic for their kiddos. So that's where the cruise transition can come in really, really nicely. So I often tell clients, if you love having your transportation, entertainment, food, accommodations all bundled together, you'll probably love cruising. And especially if they love the aspects of Disney, the characters, the storytelling, the brand, all of that. Cruising Disney specifically is going to solve many of those same problems as going to Disney World. The easy planning, great value, family-friendly options for people. Something for every age, stress-free experiences. Plus, you get to see a little bit of the world, right? You get to go to some other countries. And the transition then from Walt Disney World to a cruise is often a lot easier than advisors realize. The other thing that I want to point out here is that it is really easy to plan 2 or 3 days at the parks with a short 3 or 4 day cruise and still fit it into people's budgets, still fit it into people's schedules if they have a week or 9 days off or whatever, or even, doing one park day before heading over to the ship. I know our first Disney cruise that we went on, we actually did that. We did actually, no, yes, we did for that. We did, I think maybe 3 days, 2 or 3 days over Christmas at the parks. And then our cruise started December 26th. So we did that a few years ago. And then this past Christmas, when we did our 12-day Panama Canal cruise, not on the Disney Cruise Line. So that's always an option too. Remember, friends, like if we weren't a little Disney and a little non-Disney, you can pair them together. So our Norwegian cruise left on December 22nd. We flew down the 19th and we did Disney the 20th and 21st just to get a little Disney in for Christmas. It's my favorite time of the year to visit there. And then we went on our cruise too. I definitely always recommend the parks before the cruise because we want to, the parks, you guys know, can be a little rough on the body, right? So we do the relaxing part second when we can. So the tip I have here is just to listen for clues when you're talking to people. And this is, I think, what sets really great advisors apart. from just the good ones is we're listening for clues for what our clients really want or need without necessarily them knowing explicitly, right? So your clients are constantly telling you what they want next. For example, we've already been to Disney 6 times. We want to try something different. Maybe this is where they're adding on Universal. And you can say, great idea. And just want to throw it out here, you know, what have you ever thought about doing a Disney cruise if you're not entirely sold on Universal? When people say our kids are getting older, that's another time that I usually start recommending Universal and or cruising to people because it's just usually for an older crowd. We want a more relaxing vacation. Like I mentioned, we do the parks first, then we do the cruise. We would love to see Europe someday. These are buying signals. So instead of saying, sounds great, I'll think about it, I'll let it you know, blah, 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 try, have you ever considered a cruise? Or that's actually a reason a lot of my Disney families end up looking at the river cruises that Disney offers or Adventures by Disney or AMA or whatever, you know? The key is planting seeds, not selling, not pushing like normal. Like I'm saying, not selling and not pushing. We never do those things anyway, but opening up those possibilities and letting people think like, oh, I never really thought about that or didn't think that was an option. Adventures by Disney is also a perfect bridge. And I think it's one of the most underutilized products in travel, especially for people already familiar with the Disney brand. So many advisors never mention it because they think it's too expensive. But here's what I've learned. Many Disney clients, like I said, don't even know it exists. And many who can afford it would absolutely love it. So think about the Disney fans who already trust the Disney service, the storytelling, the quality, the attention to detail. There are a lot of people who really value that. Maybe they'll have to save up for an extra year to do this instead of a Disney trip. But in the long run, one, you're going to be getting way more commission on it. But two, they're going to have a much better experience that matches their needs. So then they're going to end up being happier with you and your services, right? Adventures by Disney takes all those things that we love about Disney and applies them to destinations all over the world, in case you did not know. So we're talking Europe, South America. Heck, they even have them in the United States, I saw. River cruises. When I'm talking with Disney clients who mention Europe, I will often say, have you ever heard of Adventures by Disney? It's basically Disney's version of guided travel, specifically made for families. And that usually immediately gets their attention. Now, do check the age requirements on this and on the different trips and itineraries. Like Egypt, you can't be as young, if you did not know. And again, this is a really great thing to sell and to promote because people already trust the Disney brand. So you have almost like less of a selling point about that than you might have to do with some other branding. Okay, here's something interesting. A typical client might follow this path: Disney World, Disney Cruise, any other sort of ocean cruise, river cruises, Europe guided tours. But as advisors, lots of times we only get to help them with the first step. And then the client outgrows Disney parks and they disappear from our client list. And as advisors, we think, well, I guess they're not traveling anymore. Meanwhile, they're taking $15,000 European vacations with other people. They're booking the Viking cruises. They're doing the guided tours. They're sailing the Mediterranean, maybe on Virgin voyages. I don't know. They're just doing it with someone else. And our goal as agents, unless you were niche, and I have heard some people who, like I just heard a man on a podcast who is a Virgin Voyages specialist. He only works with you if you're doing Virgin Voyages. Okay, if that's you, then this episode is not going to pertain to you, usually, in general. But your goal should be to stay a part of the client's travel journey as their interests evolve, in my opinion, if that is what you are selling. Okay. So questions you should start asking at the end of every trip planning questionation. Wow, I just made up a new word, friends. Conversation is asking questions like, what destinations are on your bucket list? If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go? And sometimes, guys, these make really great interactive posts on Facebook too. So for clients to respond to some of these on Facebook, just put a little note in their file. Other questions: what type of trip would you like to take in the next 5 years? Have you ever considered a cruise? What does your dream vacation look like after the kids are grown? These questions help you understand where they're headed, and they position you as a travel advisor, not just someone who books Disney, not just a booking agent that they can call, the 800 number for. Another reason clients don't book with you is that they don't know you sell something else other than Disney. If your social media is literally only talking about Disney parks and I'm all about niching down, Your audience assumes that's all you do. However, if you start mixing in, and even friends, like if you want to just do Disney River cruises with Through Adventures by Disney and just mention that every once in a while with specific Disney products, go for it. However, if you are open to booking whatever, start mixing in the cruise chips, the river cruise content, your destinations, Adventures by Disney, Alaska, national parks, bucket list travel. Like, I think a really fun post could be something about the summer being so hot at Disney World, but you can get a much cooler, quote unquote, vacation doing a Disney cruise through Alaska. I know I've done one of those. So, that might be how you get your Disney fix in the summer if you don't like the heat. Things like that, right? You can like pepper that in. You don't need to abandon the Disney. Let's not abandon Disney. I love me some Disney. I'm actually wearing a Winnie the Pooh sweatshirt right now. You just need to broaden the conversation. Um, so instead of thinking like only Disney, think like this is so corny, like Disney Plus, right? Where we have all kinds of Disney options available. One of the easiest ways to transition Disney clients is through storytelling. So I kind of mentioned this already about my Alaska trip. You could also, though, if you want to transition a little bit outside of Disney vacation, is maybe you make a connection between like, I love my Disney. I really loved my river cruise through Europe recently because I felt like I was at Epcot, getting to go through a bunch of different countries in a short amount of time. So, like, combining those sorts of things. Or a lot of my Disney loving clients are surprised by how much they enjoy Adventures by Disney because it has the same attention to detail, and then go into that. Stories lower the resistance in general, and they create curiosity, and they help clients picture themselves taking a different type of vacation, which is what we really want to do. We want to be opening people's eyes to other opportunities, right? Okay, don't wait till they ask. This is where many advisors get stuck. They wait for clients to request the cruise or Europe or Adventures by Disney. But again, many clients don't know what they don't know. I mean, I'm going to say that for everyone. Everyone doesn't know what they don't know, right? So if you don't know what they don't know, they don't even know that these things are the possibilities. And part of our role as a travel advisor is helping clients discover possibilities. You're not being pushy, you're being helpful, you're opening doors. Another fun thing that I was just thinking of as I'm getting ready to give you like a rapid fire list of these is maybe think about, I have a friend that I work with and he loves the Polynesian resort, loves it. Okay, if you love the Polynesian, imagine going to Aulani. Like, basically the same, same sort of idea. Or imagine if we took your family to Tahiti. I mean, maybe a little bit different, maybe a little bit harder with he's got triplets and a baby, so he's got a lot going on. Aulani might be a better fit for them. So be thinking of things like that, like the Riviera Resort, France. Like if you are a big Riviera fan, you're gonna love France. Okay, my hair's doing crazy stuff in this video. Sorry, friend. Um, so think of these other ways that we can pull in your client's interest when they're not explicitly saying it or telling it, right? Coronado, let's get you on a cruise to Mexico. Okay. So your action step for this week is to pull up your client list and make a list of your Disney clients who've traveled multiple times, clients whose children are getting a little bit older, so maybe they're able to do these international trips a little easier. Although I have to say, I have heard from a lot of my friends that it's easier to travel with littles, like littles to Europe than sometimes like preteen, teenage kids. I don't know. I haven't done it, but I've heard. Your clients who've mentioned Europe, your clients who have mentioned wanting something different, make a list of these things and then think of ways to reach out. Send an email, start a conversation, ask about their travel dreams. You might discover opportunities that are sitting right in front of you. And also take some of this information to use to create your content. One of the, I think, smartest and easiest ways to create content is to be creating content that speaks to people's like what is it that they call that? Like I want to say fears, but it's not their fears, but like the reason people are telling you no, like oh my gosh, I'm fumbling over my words, but like you're basically squashing the reasons why they're gonna say no or um the reason that they're afraid to do things because you're creating content that like I'm gonna remember exactly what this is called, but you're creating content that like demystifies that ahead of time. So for example, if you can envision like my friend who I was telling you about being like, I can't travel with my kids to Tahiti. then maybe I make a post about, hey, if you really love the Polynesian, did you know that that Disney has a resort in Hawaii? Like, you know what I mean? Like things like that. So I'm basically, I can't think of the words, but I'm basically stopping the rejection before it starts because I'm making content like countering it. I don't know if that makes sense, but I can't think of the right words, but hopefully that makes some sense to you. Okay, so the easiest sale is not often the brand new client. I think we all know that. It's helping an existing client take their next dream trip. Your Disney clients already know you and they love you and they trust you because you've made them lightning lanes. You've given them the info, you've helped them navigate the craziness of Disney for a first time Disney goer. They value your expertise. Now it's time to show them that the other incredible travel experiences you can help them with are right around the corner and you can do a lot more things than just book Disney. Because our goal for most people, I'm going to say for most here, isn't just to be a specific Disney World travel advisor. Maybe it is for you. Great. But if you're open to selling at least the Disney portfolio, then let's start tapping into that and making some more of this commission off of people that we already have in our sphere. Our goal is to become their travel advisor for life. Okay, thanks so much for listening to Passports, Profits, and Pixie Dust. If this episode was helpful, please share it with another travel advisor. Take a screenshot and tag me on social media. And if you've ever wondered about being a travel advisor, make sure you DM me, which I don't know why you're listening to this, maybe if you're not, but maybe you're just curious. I don't know. And let's chat. Until next time, keep dreaming big and go out and create and own your magic. Bye, friends.